Detective Andre Blackwell's FBI badge clattered to the pavement as three police officers slammed him against his car. "You fit the description," they sneered, their eyes full of disdain. His undercover operation, months in the making, crumbled before his eyes. What they didn't know, though, was that their body cams were broadcasting everything live to FBI headquarters. But before I dive into this shocking tale, let me ask, where are you watching from today? Hit that like button and subscribe if you want more incredible true stories of justice prevailing against all odds. The next few minutes will reveal how one man's nightmare became the spark that brought down an entire corrupt system. At just 33, Detective Blackwell had built a reputation within the FBI as a meticulous, determined investigator. A career built on hard work and precision. For 7 months, he had been working undercover to expose a massive police corruption ring in Central City. The day had started like any other. Andre was tailing Officer Mark Donovan, tipped off that Donovan would be meeting with a notorious gang to collect protection money. Hidden in his nondescript sedan, with fake IDs and documents that painted him as a shady financial advisor with a secret side hustle. Andre was as careful as ever, nothing to draw attention. Then, the flashing lights in his rearview mirror, 2 patrol cars boxed him in. 3 officers got out, hands hovering near their weapons. "License and registration," demanded the tallest officer. Officer Mills. Andre's heart raced, but his exterior remained calm. "Of course, officer," he replied evenly, reaching for the glove compartment. "May I ask what this is about?" "Routine check." The second officer, Thompson, grunted, though his tone said otherwise. "We've had reports of suspicious activity around here." Andre handed over his fake license, praying they wouldn't see through the lie. Had they discovered his identity? Was this random, or was it something more? "Step out of the car, sir," Mills ordered. Andre complied, his mind already calculating his next move. On his watch, he triggered a silent emergency signal that would alert his FBI team. His microphone, hidden in his jacket, transmitted everything to surveillance, 3 blocks away. "Hands on the hood," Thompson barked. "Spread your legs." "Is there a problem, officer?" Andre asked, still in character, trying to hold his composure. "You fit the description," Mills muttered as he began patting him down, his rough movements betraying the hostility in the air. Black male, early 30s, driving a black sedan. Andre knew what this was. A pretext stop. Racial profiling. His years of training had prepared him for this moment, but nothing could prepare him for how it felt to be the one targeted. As the officers continued to harass him, Andre made a decision that would cost him. Revealing his FBI status would end this harassment, but it would also blow his cover. All the work, all the months of undercover operations would be ruined. He couldn't let that happen. That's when Officer Donovan appeared, the man Andre had been tailing. His gut twisted. This wasn't a coincidence. "What's going on here?" Donovan asked, eyeing Andre like a predator. "Suspicious individual," Mills muttered. "We're just checking him out." They began searching his car without a warrant. It didn't take long before they found the small bag of white powder under the passenger seat. Andre's heart sank. The drugs had been planted. They were framing him. Everything he had worked for the operation. The investigation was in jeopardy. Inside the interrogation room, Andre was left alone for what felt like an eternity. The door finally swung open, and Sergeant James Caldwell, a man Andre knew all too well from his case files, entered, dropping a thick folder on the table. "You've had quite the day," Caldwell sneered. "Those drugs are yours." "Huh." Andre kept his calm. "Those drugs aren't mine." Caldwell's laugh was cold, but he was just getting started. "We'll see about that. But let's talk about those papers we found in your car." "Mr. Blackwell," Andre's mind raced. These were the files he'd created for his cover documents, designed to look like financial reports, but actually holding key evidence in his corruption investigation. Investment clients, Andre replied smoothly, his voice unwavering. I work with civil servants, boosting their retirement portfolios. Caldwell leaned forward, his voice low. Those notes on evidence lockup schedules, you running product through financial channels. Blackwell. It wasn't lost on Andre that Caldwell had come so close to the truth, but had completely missed the point. Caldwell thought the papers were part of a drug operation, but they were actually vital pieces of evidence in the investigation against him. The door opened, and a young officer walked in with a glass of water. Thank you, officer, Andre said, making direct eye contact. There was something about this officer, Tanner, that Andre could use. His hesitation, his discomfort, it was all there in the brief exchange. As Caldwell turned his attention to Tanner, Andre took a mental note. The pieces were starting to fall into place, but he needed time. Just a little more. The FBI was watching, and they were about to make their move. You know, Andre said, his voice calm. I think this situation will resolve itself very soon, probably in the next few minutes. Caldwell's eyes narrowed. What's that supposed to mean? Andre smiled slightly. Truth has a way of coming to light, Sergeant. At that exact moment, outside the interrogation room, the FBI made its move. With surgical precision, they raided the precinct, and everything began to unravel. Caldwell, Donovan, and the other corrupt officers were arrested, their lies and actions exposed to the light of day. But even as justice was being served, Andre couldn't shake the feeling of being trapped within a system that, no matter how much he fought, still had its claws dug deep into the communities it was meant to protect. As the officers were led away in cuffs, Andre knew this was just the beginning. Justice had been done today, but it wasn't enough. As the media spun the story, as the officers were processed, and as the whole investigation came to a head, Andre felt a weight lift off his shoulders. But he knew the fight wasn't over. The corruption he had exposed was just one small part of a much larger battle. The next morning, as the press ran wild with headlines about the FBI raid, Andre sat at his desk, reflecting on what had just happened. The fight for justice wasn't about one case. It was about something much bigger. So, what do you think? Should Andre have revealed his identity earlier to stop the framing? Or was holding out the right call? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want more of these incredible true stories. What happened to Andre today was justice. But for many, the road to real change is just beginning. And it starts with standing up, even when it seems like everything is against you.